Hello and welcome back to the Sallie Tomato YouTube channel and our second segment in our Mystery Bag Sew-Along series. I hope you enjoy this style of tutorial. Having several defined sections encourages you to take healthful breaks in between. In the first segment, we reviewed fabrics, did some cutting, so we're going to pick up where we left off. So let's get started. And here you can see I have a really fun bright lining. So again, have fun with your fabrics. The first step is to fuse the interfacing to the coordinating pieces. So we're going to center and fuse the interfacing to the wrong side of the coordinating lining piece E, that's the base, and lining piece L for the interior. And I'm just going to clip them together. I won't be sewing with these right away, so I've replaced my little label and we are ready for our next step. Use some of the leftover fabric pieces to test thread colors. You can choose complementary thread color or a contrast thread color. Arrange 3 main and 3 contrast pieces A, those are the larger squares, to create the pocket panel. You're going to alternate the main and contrast into 2 rows, just like I've done here. With right sides together at the sewing machine, we're going to sew 3 pieces A of a row together using the seam allowances that are recommended in your pattern, and then we'll press the seams open. Since I'm using faux leather, I'm just going to use my fingers, but you certainly could use a seam roller, or if your fabric is okay with the heat of an iron, you can use an iron, but with many faux fabrics or faux leather or cork, you do need to be careful with heat. So I'm just using my fingers and the seam roller. So be sure you're looking at the correct rows. Make sure your main fabric squares are where you want them. I did a mistake here, so I need to get the right rows coordinated. So my top row has the 2 dark squares as my main fabric, and the second row has the single dark square in the middle, and that's my main fabric. So now I'm ready to go on to the next step. We need to mark the top row of our pieces A using removable pen or chalk, and make sure you test that it's easily removable, because we're going to mark a horizontal line 1 inch from the bottom edge. Now our illustration shows that a line is going horizontally all the way across 1 inch from the bottom edge. I prefer to mark just at the vertical seams because it's much easier for me to remove just short little marks. So we're going to top stitch then from each side of the seam, beginning at the top edge, and then stitch down along the seam and pivot, and then stitch across the seam. That's usually just 2 stitches. And then we're going to pivot again and stitch up to that top raw edge. And you're going to repeat the second seam of that top row pieces A, just like I've done here. I've actually added sewing clips to help keep those little bits of the seam allowance that have no top stitching nice and flat. It just helps hold them in place, and they'll be ready for the next steps when we get to those. Mark the piece A bottom rows, this time 1 inch from the top edge. Again, you're going to top stitch beginning at the bottom edge of the seam this time, and then pivot at the marking, stitch across, and then pivot again and down the opposite side of the seam. Repeat the same process for the second seam in this row. I apologize for my crooked top stitching here. I think I do my worst sewing right on the camera, so I'm sure your top stitching is going to look much more beautiful than mine. Position the top and bottom rows right sides together, aligning the non-top stitched seams. Then we're going to sew using a wider seam allowance. And then after stitching that long seam, I'm going to trim the ends of the seam allowances this is on the wrong side, at an angle to help reduce the bulk for the next step. You'll press the seam open using your fingers or a seam roller, and then top stitch both edges of the seam with a narrow allowance. I'm starting and stopping my top stitching just to check that the seam allowance underneath is staying open as I do the top stitching. And you'll go from one end of the seam all the way to the other end. Repeat these steps using the remaining main and contrast pieces A to complete your second pocket panel. Let's take those snaps and divide them so we have the male halves of the magnetic snaps, and then we're going to install one male half of the magnetic snap on the right side of each contrast pattern piece G. That's your snap accent. And I'll show you a quick overview of adding a snap to one of the accent pieces, but you can certainly visit our YouTube channel to watch a detailed video tutorial on installing this hardware. And this is where those small leftover pieces of fleece or foam are really handy. I'm using fleece with my bag because I have the faux leather, and so I have just a small piece of fleece that I'll add as padding or a protective layer at the back of my snap. On the right side top edge of each lining piece J, that's the exterior pocket lining, hold that little accent piece in place with basting tape, and then at the sewing machine we're going to top stitch the sides and curved bottom edge of the piece G with a narrow allowance. And you don't need to top stitch across that top edge, it will get secured in a later step. On the right side of one piece J, draw a line just below the top edge, and that dimension is listed in your pattern. Then with right sides up, position the top edge. Double check that you have the top edge of your pieced pocket panel and place that along the marked line. Then secure the layers together with basting tape, and you're going to top stitch along the pocket panel with a narrow allowance. Now fold the pocket panel at the top edge of piece J. This will be wrong sides together, aligning the sides and bottom edges of both layers. Use plenty of sewing clips to hold those edges together, and then I also am adding sewing clips along the top edge. That will be the fold edge and become the top edge of the pocket panel. Then at the sewing machine, we're going to top stitch along that top edge fold on the right side of the pocket panel, and this time begin and end your top stitching 3 inches in from each side edge. And you can kind of see that I'm starting further away from the raw side edge, and then I'll top stitch along the fold and end before I get to the opposite raw edge. Repeat these steps using the remaining pocket panel and lining piece J. All right, we're going to move on now to a few new pieces for our mystery bag. We're going to attach one contrast piece B, that's a top side piece, to each short end of main piece B. That's going to be the center top piece. These will be right sides together, and at the sewing machine you'll follow your pattern for the correct seam allowance. And then we'll press seams open, and at each seam you'll mark down from the top edge and make a little mark across the seam. And then we're going to top stitch beginning at the top raw edge and then stitch along the seam to that mark. At the mark, you'll pivot, stitch across the seam, and then pivot again and top stitch to the top raw edge again. And it should look similar to what I've got here. You're going to do the same step for the remaining seam of this little bitty panel. And then you're going to repeat these steps for the remaining pieces B, both in the contrast and main. With right sides together, align the bottom edge of the piece B unit that we just finished to the top edge of the lining piece K. This will be your exterior. Sew the layers together with a slightly wider seam allowance. Press piece K away from the patchwork piece B unit, and then you'll top stitch on the right side of the lining, the piece K, with a narrow allowance. You'll repeat these steps for the remaining piece B unit and piece K. As you're approaching the seam allowance, make sure those seam allowances are staying pressed open. You can just move them with your fingers or have a sewing clip handy. With right sides up, position each exterior BK unit over one piece Q. You're going to align all the edges, and certainly feel free to use basting spray to help hold those layers together, or I'm using sewing clips. I happen to be using fleece, but if you like a firmer, more structured bag, you may wish to use foam. A Teflon foot or a walking foot may also be helpful when we get to our next step of basting along each edge. This will help keep the fabric from shifting. Repeat the step for the main piece C sides and the fleece or foam, if you're using foam, for those piece C sides as well. Now this is an optional detail, but it looks really great when it's finished. Mark a centered vertical line on the right side of your pieces C, those are the side panels, using removable pen or chalk, and then also mark horizontal lines. One line will be even with the pieced horizontal seam in your pocket panel, and the second line will be about 1/4 inch below that top fold edge of your pocket panel. Then at the sewing machine, we'll top stitch with a narrow allowance along opposite sides of each of the marked lines, just as I'm doing here, and I'll show you what it kind of looks like after it's stitched. I'm just removing the chalk markings right away, then they're gone. And let's show you how this looks. The stitching lines up pretty well. There will be stitching going here, so hopefully that will line up all right as well. We're at a good spot to take a break in sewing. I hope you're liking how your bag is starting to grow a little bit and enjoying this project. I'm looking forward to the third tutorial. Your bag really begins to take shape, and that leads to our next clues for you sewing sleuths. Have your pieces C, E, and R at the ready. If you have questions, please add them as a comment below and we'll do our best to answer them. In the meantime, have a great making day.